Very last.
Yeah, that's it. That's how she talks. I hope I've shared the screen, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So, Faiza, can you take your answer again for the sake of recording? I was talking about episiotomy, and you said the best one is to do the median one. Can you explain why it is appropriate to go there?
No, sir, you asked about the muscles that are affected during episiotomy. Then I said it depends on the type of episiotomy that is being carried out. Then I mentioned that if the episiotomy is given medial, then you may have the transverse perineal muscles, bulbocavernosus, tuberococcygeus, and then the iliococcygeus muscles being involved because they meet centrally down there. So if it is a medial one, all these four muscles may be affected. So I'm only answering as to which of the muscles are affected. But then this one is about the medial.
And I said, what is the disadvantage of it? And then
so
the disadvantage is that
Okay, the disadvantage we noted is that the tear can easily extend. You know, it's when we give the episiotomy, we aim at about a 4 centimeter, at least at most a 4 centimeter a cut. But then when you give this medial one, it is very easy to extend into the anal sphincter, which can become a third or fourth degree tear, which will be beyond the midwife.
Okay. So if you want to avoid that, is there any way you can do the episiotomy to avoid this tear? Is there any way you can do the episiotomy?
Yes, sir.
In that case, which other way?
We can give the J shape or the mediolateral, but mostly with the midwives, we use the mediolateral more than the J shape, because with the J shape, you kind of cut it in an incoordinate way, which makes repairing the episiotomy very difficult. So mostly we go the mediolateral.
Good. So in mediolateral, I think I've seen a lot of your people type in mediolateral. Which muscle is involved? That's what I'm here for. Which muscle will be involved in mediolateral episiotomy?
The transverse perineal.
Okay. Oli? Mediolateral does not involve more muscles as compared to the median. Okay. Good. And I was talking about the median and say that the medial one, if it affects the inner region, if it's not well repaired, there's a problem. And you're able to mention up to 3. Can you take that again? Problem if it's not well repaired, the median. The doctors control your people. Control them. Yes, can you take that for the sake of recording so that people who can't join will get us? What would be the disadvantage if it's not well repaired?
So there could be infection.
Infection, what again?
Woman could bleed heavily, leading to hemorrhage or PPH.
Okay, what again?
So we talked about fecal incontinence.
Yes. Yes, 4th one.
Delay in healing.
Rectovaginal fistula.
Fistula. Okay.
Painful sexual intercourse.
What sexual intercourse, please? What?
Painful sexual intercourse.
Painful sexual intercourse.
Okay.
In subsequent deliveries, the client may not be able to deliver per vagina unless cesarean section.
Okay, yeah, that's also true.
Then it can also lead to erectocele.
Okay, now look at the picture there. Look at the picture there. I'm happy you are mentioning this thing. Now look on the screen and then follow my cursor. You see, these muscles, the one closer to the rectum, I think I've already explained that the one closer to the rectum is the pupil rectalis, okay? The one closer to the rectum is pupil rectalis, okay? Good.
Rectalis.
Now, yes. If there is, and you can see some spaces here, spaces. These spaces, even when you take the fascia out here, there's a space. If anything should happen, like infection or anything, and these spreads into these spaces, how do we call the spaces? Between the superficial and the deep perineal muscles, how do we call the spaces? You see, we have superficial muscles and deep ones. How do we call the spaces between them? Yes. How do we call the spaces? Because infection, if they spread through these spaces, the person is in trouble, very much in trouble. So anytime you are doing episiotomy, please think of that there are spaces, perineal spaces. Usually fills with fat. The fat is supposed to prevent infection, but at times it do fail. If it fails, the person is really in trouble. Okay, so that's why I just want you to look at this aspect. Now, the good thing is that all the muscles shown are skeletal muscles. All the muscles shown are skeletal muscles. True, of course. Yes, our skeletal muscles. We are all skeletal muscles. True of us.
It's true.
It's true.
Yes.
Do you agree? We all agree it's true. They are all skeletal muscles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Meaning, if I ask you to raise your hands, I'm going to get 100% agreement that is skeletal muscles. Is that what's going to happen? If you raise our hands, are we going to get 100%?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. It is skeletal muscles. And then as ladies or as midwives or male midwife, what can we use these muscles for our clients? What can we tell our clients to do that will enable them to have easy delivery using these muscles? Yes, what can you tell them?
Exercise.
Exercise the muscles.
What exercise? What exercise, please?
Exercise.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Please, it's okay. The casual exercise, does it involve all these muscles? Does it involve just few, one or two muscles? Does it involve all these muscles? And what would the
muscle?
does it involve all these muscles?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. When you do it well, it involves all the muscles.
What I was saying was that with a preconception lady or ladies who are not pregnant, it's casual exercise. Is there any other thing that can affect the whole gluteal region and everything together? Apart from casual exercise?
Yes, sir.
Which one?
It says cotton.
Is it, can you come again? Who was talking, please? What's your name?
I thought squatting.
Okay, squatting.
Yes, please.
Okay, and then would you advise them to do it every day?
So please, is it with the pregnant women or non-pregnant women?
Non-pregnant, please.
Oh yes, she can do it like yes, every day before she takes her bath or.
Now, Priscilla, let's say your class are your clients, preconception clients. They are not pregnant. Educate them on them and let me see. What would you say?
They are not like education on exercise.
Yes, a simple one, just a 2-minute one. What would you tell them using these muscles?
I would tell them that it's important for them to strengthen their muscles so that when they finally conceive and they are coming for delivery, it will be easier or they will go through smoothly. And so I would encourage them to do the squatting exercises and then the casual exercise. So thank you.
Okay. Is that the advantage, the only advantage they will get?
And no, sir, it's also it will tighten their pussy. Like they don't need to put things in their vagina. So you also get the advantage from the
Priscilla, I've not gone there. Priscilla, I've not gone there. We are talking about the muscles. You said they should do squatting. I say educate them. So what would you tell them? To do how many? Squatting, how many?
Okay. It depends because we have individual differences. So I can't give them because if I say do it like 10 squats per day and the person is not that strong, maybe it will affect the person. So you start with the one that you can stand or your body will be able to contain, and then you do that one.
Hey, Priscilla, you are going to incapacitate all these ladies. If you tell a lady to go and do squatting because she can give birth, she can do that. That same day, she will do squatting and cannot walk again. Okay. You just time them something. You do a 5-minute squatting. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
5-minute squatting. The next day they can add a minute. The next day they can add, or you give them a number. Let's start with 10. The next day add 11 or 12. In that order. Okay. They should increase it gradually. Then you take advantage. Those of you online, midwives, do it yourself. And then give me the feedback. What will be the results?
So what you do, you get abdominal pains.
Hey, I say squatting. And then we see you do this squatting on empty stomach. You can't go and eat a bar and then you are going to do squatting. What are you going to do there?
Some of us will fall for 2 days.
After eating fufu, you want to go and do squatting.
So it's not working. You'll go again after 1 month.
Oh no, what you have to is squatting is a constant thing you do. Okay. When you do squatting well, your libido increases. Your hormones are intact. Those of you with menstrual pains and all this. Okay.
Yes, sir, it's very true.
Go use the squatting every morning 5, the next day 6, gradually, and then let it be constant.
Any demonstration on how it will be done well?
My friend, know how to squat.
Suleya, are they squatting so? Why? How do you want your squatting to be? You want to use a chair to squat or a bed to squat or somebody holding your back for you to squat? Why? Are you that heavy? For those who are heavy, they need people to hold them, actually.
Yes, sir.
So they heavy, hold their husband.
They use chair and put in front of them so they'll hold it.
Hey, over squatting, kaka, kofa husband, so meka ho a. Squatting, you want your husband to come and he's holding you. Hey, early morning like that. Why? What do you want to happen? I said go and squat. I didn't say go and do anything else. Okay. Let's go. So okay. So it's better to, if you're too heavy, get somebody to help you out. But if it affects the knee, then you need to stop. If you squat and you have knee pain, you have to stop. It means it's not a good exercise. Hey, you will use one.
Amen.
Kitchen stool. Hey, please. Kitchen stool there is too low. Don't go and do that one. Eh? Okay, let's go to the other PowerPoint. Let's go to the other PowerPoint. So with the pelvic, number one, let me summarize the whole thing. One, we look at the bones vis-a-vis practice. Then we look at the muscle vis-a-vis also labor, okay? But the muscles goes beyond that. If you're a lady and do squatting, it keeps your hips, it keeps your shape in place, okay? You can be 60 years, squatting can keep you in shape. So because your muscles will develop well and then you'll be in shape, okay? So squatting is not bad. It's not just for delivery. And when you do it, delivery becomes easier. You do away with all these pain issue and everything, okay? So start squatting gradually. Pfizer, what cannot stand this one? We have not even started embryology. This is just reproductive that we are revising. I've not said anything yet. Okay, okay. So please do that. For those of you who have lost libido, a lot of ladies, their libido, I don't know where it is. It's gone. It has traveled. That's squatting. Okay.
They have to wake it up.
Oh yes, it's true. It's true. A lot of midwives is not working. Libido is gone. Okay, the stress has taken the libido out. Start doing squatting. It's important. Okay, gradually, everything will be intact, and then.
Please, what is the rationale behind that? Squatting. Aside the pelvic.
Outside the muscles. Lady, relax. We are going to talk about the female system itself, the organs there, and I will relate it to it and tell you exactly what happens when you are squatting. Okay, so we're talking about the organs one by one. We're going to look at it. That's why I asked you the first question: that are they all skeletal muscles? Yes, they are, but inside is not skeletal. It's perfectly smooth, and there's a good relationship between what you do and then you see these organs. They pierce through skeletal, the anus, the rectum, the vagina. They pierce through these things. So it's a good thing, but I won't not take the cell out. Relax. We are going to talk about the male. When we are done with the female, we're going to talk about the female vis-a-vis the hormones and everything, and I'll put everything together. And I know that day you will never stop squatting. Okay. Those that their libido is gone, it will come back. Okay. As for midwives, there, I know it's the first thing. It's the first thing that your libido is gone. Okay.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, the work that you do.
Where was the implication?
Not gone, no.
Oh, sir, why?
Because if you're 100 online, I can perfectly say that about 60 or 65% one is gone.
That's true. 100%.
It's not true. Let's continue.
So you don't worry. So far, we are going to talk about this system bit by bit. We're going to correct all these things so that next time when you are doing education for your client, every day, in fact, they will bring their men. They will bring everybody. But there are so many things that we don't talk about. And it's killing marriage, it's killing relationship. So far as I'm doing revision for this, fine. Okay, it's not all about delivery. Delivery, they send their byproduct. The real thing is there, and we don't talk about it. Hormones are who you are. When your hormones go up and down carefully, you're always happy. And when you're happy, you don't go poor. That's the secret people don't know. If you're happy, you don't go poor. Your facial expression alone can let people give you money. Now, if you are not happy, always you frown your face. Who even will call you? Huh? Let me continue with the other PowerPoint. Okay, I will just introduce you to the other PowerPoint, and then we take it from there. Okay, so that's the truth. Maybe I'll tell the truth. Okay, so that is the male one. Let me share. Let me see if I have that one, so I can take you through gradually. Let's see. Okay, let me get that one and open it. I've already shared it to your Telegram page, the male reproductive system. Let me see if I have my one here so that we can open and start. Okay. I'm going to share that one soon with you. For that one, I don't think you've seen it. I just posted it this morning. So let's see. Where is it? Okay. Okay. Have you seen it on your screen?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes,
so I shared it
Yes.
with you this morning. So when I'm done, you can go and get the whole PowerPoint so that next week we can finish this one too. Okay. Now, females, so far as I'm going to talk about male reproductive system, I will need your input. You see, you are the master architect. You can easily talk about men and they don't even know. Okay. So you beneficially, because you are midwives, I think it add up to it. So I will need your input here, because with males, when they come to sex issue, fertility issue, they are even their parts. We do well. You see, when you go to the hospital and you are passing catheter for a male, males don't mind if it's a lady passing it. They don't really care. In fact, they prefer a lady passing catheter than a male passing catheter. Okay. So it means that males don't really mind their body when it's a lady. So you will have advantage to talk when it comes to male reproductive system. Just that some of the things I'm going to mention today, most of you don't pay attention to it. You don't pay attention to it at all. Okay. So today I'm going to let you pay attention to certain things. Don't just jump onto it and that is it. No, pay attention. Okay. So we're going to look at it one by one. Okay. Yes. What? Then I've not said, I just said pay attention. And what are you thinking of? Comforting, or yes. I said pay attention to the class. That's what I mean.
You added some.
Please, on a more serious note.
Let's go on. Let's go on. Now, this is the part that's usually disable others for this. Okay, so that people cannot write. Now, with the male reproductive system is made up of these parts. The testes being one of the main aspects. The genital ducts or excurrent ducts. When you talk about the ducts, the cord in it, the spermatic cord, the ejaculated duct, those aspects, we call them the duct, genital ducts, okay? And then we have the accessory glands. The accessory means that they don't usually belong there, but they help in that particular area. And the last aspect we're going to look at is the penis, okay? So testes first, the duct system, the glands, and then the penis, okay? For those of you who have never seen it, let me give you a picture so that you can see what I'm talking about. Here, this is a sagittal view of the male system. Why? Are you surprised I'm saying for those of you who have never seen it? Yeah, some people are in class here, they've never seen it too. So let me give them picture.
Yes. It's not true.
Yeah.
Oh, they've never seen it. Oh, and then there's nothing wrong. Oh, it's true.
Oh, the virgins, we are here. The virgins, we are here.
Also causes an issue.
Hey, it's okay. If you've seen it, what's your problem? If somebody has not seen it, what's your problem?
Is it the first time that we are treating the male reproductive organ?
No, I'm talking about seeing it. I'm not talking about pictures.
I don't mind them. Some of us have not seen it before.
All right, my dear, be there. If you don't see it, don't worry. I'll go through it systematically for you. Okay. Now let's start with this one. Here. Now, can you see my cursor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the first thing is the testes. Now, with the testes, I want you to pay particular arrangement to it. Number one, it is not naked, it's covered, okay? So there's a name for this covering. And then there's epididymis on it. Epididymis is lying posterolateral. So it means when you go to a male's testis, today, I'm telling you, so that when you go and practice it. You hold the testis, you go posterolaterally. Then you'll be having something lying on the testis itself. That is the epididymis. Posterolateral, please note it down. Posterolateral, okay? Because as we go along, we're going to talk about the epididymis one by one, okay? Now, and then at the end of the epididymis, this is the epididymis, at the end of it, there is another cord moving all the way. Look at the way this cord moves perfectly. I'll use this cord arrangement to talk about premature ejaculation. Okay? Those of you that your husbands, your boyfriends have premature ejaculation, listen carefully that you solve the problem for them today. Okay? Now look at the cord. We call it the vas deferens or datus deferens. It's part of the duct system, the genital duct system. Now look at it. Now this man is standing in an anatomical position, or this is a sagittal view. It means that he's standing there. So it means anytime a man is standing, this portion, listen to me carefully, this portion is against gravity. It means sperm movement here will be against gravity. You see, gravity pulls everything down. So if the man is standing, it means that these sperms are moving against gravity. This is difficult. Now, in this line, on the bladder, this is a urinary bladder, it comes anterior to the bladder and moves posterior to the bladder. It moves for gravity, okay? So gravity will be acting on it, but to allow it to lie down, move straight. Then moving to the ejaculatory ducts. Downwards to the urethra, it is with gravity.
Sir, please, the background is noisy. Someone is pounding.
It's Grace Odro.
Grace Odro, maybe let's another phone. Hey, what do you mean? Let's another phone. Hey, Grace, when you're the power. For what you know, Christ, the husband that is pounding. So they have been using my lecture to entertain themselves today. Hey, Grace. Santa Bia will be a member. Oh, what am I let you? Okay, so what I'm saying is this, listen carefully. Here, this is against gravity, for gravity, and then with gravity. So mostly, premature ejaculation is here, from here. We're going to talk about it, but I just want to brief you on something. Here, can you see my cursor? When the sperms reach here, they move quickly with gravity. So what holds them to keep long is two areas, 1 and 2. That's all. 1 and 2. So if the man is standing or positions himself side that they're against gravity. So if your man is standing, look at the against gravity. Against gravity is very long. So it's going to take time. But when it's lying or the opposite one, against gravity becomes short. But you can position the man's side against gravity, everything becomes against gravity. Everything. When everything is against gravity, if you even premature ejaculation, it won't happen. It can never come. Now, how would you position a man for everything to be against gravity? Look at it carefully. Against with
kneeling. He should lie down and be on top. Kneeling.
Sitting.
He's sitting.
It's a lateral position.
Lateral. Lateral, are you sure?
So lying down.
Lying down. When I say lying down, give me a position. There are so many ways of lying down.
Spine position.
Spine position. I have Rita writing, leaning down. We'll come back, man. Hey, Rita.
So you should lie down. You should lie down, and the woman will be on top. That way, the erection will be on top, and then gravity will pull it backwards. So the
so lying down is one. Good. Lying down is one. As for Rita, she wants to kill. Lying down. Those of you who say standing, you see the picture here. The person is standing. So when it's standing, there is not always, there is against, there is for and with. So when it's standing, at the end of the missionary position there, Esther, missionary position. It is our grandmother's. So if you are still using it, please stop it. Your grandmother used missionary, you too, you are using missionary. What problem can you solve with missionary? Okay, so this is just, by the way, we're going to talk about these when we go after, when we do the semen analysis, then we talk about sex positions. Sex position good for men, we talk about sex position good for women and everything. For the women, it's to be against your uterus. The type of uterus you have should have a sex position you have to use. If not, you're going to complain that when the man releases, everything comes back. Those people complain like that, it has to do with the position, okay? Reverse cowgirl. Hey, who are you? You are in Ghana here, cowgirl. Do you have a horse? You won't say things that we can even easily understand. Hey, reverse cowgirl. I can't even understand that one. She wants to accommodate everything inside. That's how somebody has replied. Okay. We don't want stress, so missionary na Modesta. Modesta, I don't want stress. Give missionary. Somebody will give another thing and let's see what will happen. Okay. Okay, let's go on. So we're going to talk about that one when we progress. But for the gist, one, this is the testis. And then please try to locate the epididymis. It's very important. Now, if you look at the testis, there are three covering. Look at it carefully. One from the external, one from the middle, and then one from internal, covering forming the scrotal sac. So the scrotal sac is not just one membrane, there's three, together with muscles fused together. And then we have the vas. This is the seminal vesicle. This is the prostate. And then we have the bulbouterine or the cowpea gland here. So 1, 2, 3, we call them accessory glands. And then this diaphragm. You see, this is another diaphragm here. Urogenital diaphragm. Urogenital diaphragm. Separating here from there. Very important. Urogenital diaphragm, the urethra of men or the urethra passes through it. So the prostatic urethra is here. The urethra that passes through the diaphragm is called, it's called what? The urethra that passes through the urogenital diaphragm is called, you said you've done this in third year. So what's it called? Chelsea. If you're Chelsea.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
The urogenital urethra.
Oh no.
Cowpea gland.
This is called the prostatic one. the one, the prostate. And then this is called the perineal urethra. What is the one, the smaller one here? How do we call it?
Cowper's gland.
No.
Oh, we're talking about the urethra, please. How do we call it? Those that did it in third year. Now you are in final year. How do we call that one? And what happens there? What's the clinical aspect of that part? Let me tell you.
It's a place where it's came from.
Yes. Is a place that what?
Semen gets separated from urine during sexual intercourse or during.
What are you saying?
Seminal vesicle.
Oh, the seminal vesicle is this one. Okay, my dear, I'm talking about this small urethra here. This small urethra here.
Say, I'm saying that at that point.
That is the bobourethral gland.
Please look at the arrow, please. I'm not talking about the gland. I'm talking about the urethra that passes through the urogenital diaphragm. Yeah. How do we call it?
Say they use sexual intercourse. Is that part that contract to prevent the urine pass?
So how do we call that urethra?
Urogenital tract.
We call it.
That.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Before you say things that you don't say, it's okay. Okay. We call it membranous. We call it membranous urethra. Membranous urethra.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say.
Yes,
Yes,
And you didn't say.
Okay. Well, this is called the prostatic urethra. This is called the membranous urethra, and this is called the perineal urethra. Now, clinical, please write it down. There are so many things that happens in the membranous urethra. This smaller one, so many. Please find about 5 things that happens there. Membranous urethra, here, this smaller one. Very small. There are so many complications there. Write it down and find out what happens there, about 5 of it, okay? Good. So from there, we move to the penis. The penis will have parts, the corpus part, spongiosum and cavernosum, and then the meatus. So that is all what we're going to talk about in details. Okay. These are what we are going to talk about in detail. So the male, I would need your expertise here. Okay. Now tell me, before you go there, why is the male testis outside the body, but for females, the ovary is inside the body? Why is the testis outside, but for females, the ovaries are inside? Linda?
Yes, it needs a temperature that is lower than the body temperature. That is why it's hanging outside.
Okay, so it needs a temperature that is outside it. That's good. But do you have an idea of the range, the temperature that it can support? Have an idea of the temperature it can support? Millicent? Millicent?
Please. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Please, the temperature that the testis need is lesser than that of the body. That's why it is situated outside the body.
Okay, that's the perfect example I need. It should be less than the body. So averagely, how?
34 degrees Celsius.
34.
34.5.
Hey, human body temperature, you say?
Says 2 to 3 degrees.
2 to 2.5 lesser than the body.
Okay, so please. Now the question is this. So the scrotal sac has showed you it has muscles that contract and relaxes the testis. When the weather is hot, it relaxes and pulls the testis away from the body. When the weather is cold, it will contract and pull the testis closer to the body. Have you observed this one before? Have you observed this?
Yes.
Are you a man?
Yes.
Oh, yes, in case, even it happens every man. If even it's a baby, it happens. Okay, every man, even a baby, it will happen. So as midwife, that's why I said that when it comes to males, midwives, you know more. Okay, not because of anything, but because you see them every day. So usually when talking about male, people are thinking of their husbands and then boyfriends. Actually, most of these things can be demonstrated in babies. Okay, good. So now let me explain aspermatozoa, sperm cells that go zero. Now we're saying that sperm cells that are produced in the testes, specifically in the semiferous tubule, we're going to look at that very soon, cannot stand the body temperature. That is even 37. It cannot. So why do you buy underwears that are dark for your boyfriends and your husbands and your kids? Why do you buy nylon for your kids to wear? Because it's cheap. Let me answer that for you. So when you go to the market and buy the nylon boxer shorts, 12 in 1, cheap, and you give to that baby or that small boy to wear, you've forgotten that, because you've forgotten that it's part of the men. This boy will wear 12 the end standard. You wear, you buy another 12. You wear. By the time he becomes adolescent, you've done well. You've destroyed everything. Okay. Now the boxer shorts that are coming, they pull the testes by force to the body. So when you buy boxer shorts for your husbands, and then it pulls the testes closer to the body, you are a witch. You want to kill him. Because if you wear those things for long, yes, there are so many things you don't take advantage or you don't look at it. Okay?
Then he should buy it himself.
See, because I'm telling the truth, you don't want. So you won't buy. Go and buy. I'm teaching you what to buy. Buy those that the testes will be free to hang. In other words, they should be free to contract and relax. Don't go and buy something small big for him because you want to give him birthday gift. Men, we are lazy. We don't have time to go and buy those things, singlet and then so you buy it. In fact, the men in the class, if any lady should bring you boxer shorts as a gift, the colors are dark colors, dark, anything that absorbs heat, and then it still restrain the testes to move away from the body. Please advise yourself. Okay, so those of you who want to kill men, because this one is a gradual thing. Let's say you've married this man for 15 years and you'll be giving him this boxer shorts for 15 years. You've done the job. It's done. Okay. Provided that dark boxer shorts are meant for temperate areas that are very cold. That's what they wear. Norway and this, that's what they wear. But here, our temperature itself is 40 something. Then you go and give him black boxer shorts to wear. Why? If you're a man here, you want to wear black boxer shorts, wear it when the weather is cold, rainy seasons, yes, so that your scrotal sac doesn't need to expand and this. So please, there are so many things you don't keep note. For those who have baby boys and then boys, small boys going to secondary school and this, teach them those things before a lady kill them. Okay, because when they expose their testes cannot span even 37. It can't do. That's why it's outside. Then you make testes go 40, 50 in the boxer shorts. And this boy will wear it throughout lectures, if it's the university, throughout classes. If it's in KG, you go to KG1. They go what time? 7, they'll come back 5. Small boy, what does he know? Okay, that's why all the underwears you give to babies, they are white. Pampers, anything is white. Okay, recently I've been seeing these Pampers and everything. I've seen red color, blue color. I don't know who brought these things. Which killer lady is bringing these colors in Ghana? For what? Okay, so you are midwives. Take note of this and educate people well. What you wear as under is important, especially in males. For the scrotal sac, number 1 should be able to expand. Okay. Number 2 should be able to decide when to position itself, either to the body or away from the body. And then the bursal short should be able to allow the temperature gauge to either evacuate or keep, depending on the weather condition. Dark or dull colors are wear during raining or cold season. Bright colors are wear during hot seasons, or preferably white. So those of you who are buying bursal shorts anyhow for your husbands and boyfriends, now please change your mindset. And then last one, it should be cotton. It should be what? Cotton. The nylon one is too cheap. Please get cotton one. The nylon one does not allow heat to go anywhere.
Please, can you take the colors?
Dark colors, dark, anything that is dull, it absorbs heat. Okay, so it's good for raining seasons, cold temperatures. Anything that is bright, it reflects heat. White, bright colors. So you can wear those ones in hot time, or like this day, today, for instance, the place is hot. And lastly, it should be cotton, either for a kid, for a grown-up man, for your boyfriend, for your husbands. Please, it should be cotton. Stop buying those Togo ones that are nylon because he's a small boy. Please, you are killing him. If in future you become a witch, if not in future you become a witch. Okay, so please, because if you're a small boy, you start worrying him those things from 5 years. He grows up to 35. Now he's going to get married and the sperm cells are dead. There's nothing produced. This is one of the conditions. The other condition we're going to talk about it, chemical reactions and everything. But this one is primary that we can avoid. This one there we can avoid. Okay. And it depends on you. Midwives, you see the work you have to do. It's not talking about delivering everyday delivery, how to position yourself as if you are meant for only delivery. This is BSc you are doing, for God's sake. Please.
Yes, sir. God bless you for teaching us.
Go beyond delivery and talk about other preconception aspects.
Thank you, sir. We are learning.
Thank you, sir. Sir, please, a clarification. What about wearing them pampers?
Oh, the pampers. You see, pampers, we have cotton ones. But the cotton ones, there is good to go. Cotton is perfect. But I've seen something in the market. Some colors be some things that I don't know in the markets now. So be careful.
So I'm putting it on for a very long time.
Oh, but if that boy goes to school, he comes back, you remove it. Let him feel free and then be able. Nowadays, our wives and our girlfriends are lazy. I don't know. If that boy comes from school, when they remove it, they think he will soil the place more. So even after school, they want to put him on pampers. Don't stop by a bedroom so good. I'm an happy penti. Pampers, a baby player from a petrol. A better that idea, huh? So please, when he comes back for school, let him be free. Okay? Let him free himself. It's very important. Okay. So don't just learn it like this is the way I teach. People usually you learn testes, you learn this, Baba application 0. Okay, why you've reached this is BSc you are doing. We are more interested in the application at the Baba. Okay, know why the test is like that and should be able to be practically oriented. When you are doing education, you are doing proper education and stop the Baba and then this, like the way Chelsea was annoyed this morning about people procedures and the retalis. Okay. Okay, so please, if you look here on the screen, testis is not round. Those of you who say testis is round, it's oval. Okay. Outside the body, now we know why it's outside the body. And we know why it's in the scrotal sac. I hope you know why it's in the scrotal sac. Okay, to protect it. To protect it, number one, the scrotal sac has muscles, so it will help it move closer to the body or away from the body. And then it's connected to a spermatic cord to allow whatever it produces to transport itself. Okay, and it's hanged in the scrotal sac. Okay, so that's the first thing I want you to know. Now let's go through it. If I cut through, now if I cut through the testis here, I'll just treat testis and end, okay? Now this is the testis. Please look here. If I cut through the testis, I will see lobos. We call these ones lobos. And these ones septus.
There is none, so.
Dorcas, can you meet your people?
Sir, I'm on it. I also want to look at your screen.
You want to do what?
Someone is pounding fufu. That person not serious in
It's the
class.
same lady. Half of fufu pounded, there's the same lady.
Sir, if you mute them, then they will keep on unmuting themselves.
Take them out of the class. Take them out of the class. They are not students. They are take them out. We came here to learn, not to do chop bar. So the chop operators, take them out. Dorcas, chop bar for them way you're free. Okay, take the chop operators out of the class, please. So that those of us who want to learn will learn. Okay, so this is a lobo, and then between one lobo and the other, the barrier there is called a septa. Okay, let me get what that is labeled so that it will help you out. Let me get a picture that is labeled. Oh, any picture? Oh. I don't want the picture, then I have to set one. Let's see, I don't have a picture that is labeled. Wow. Okay.
But then use the colored one. I saw one that is colored.
Okay. Here. Now the coiled things inside the lobo. I'm saying this space is called the lobo. The lobo. Okay. L-O-B-U-L-E-X. Lobos. Okay. Between one lobo and the other, there's a septa. Septa. Okay. So we have septus and then we have lobo. Then inside lobos, there is a coiled tube. A coiled tube. Usually, if you don't want to say coil, you say convoluted. Convoluted, like coil. Coil tube. We call that tube the semiferous tubule. Semiferous tubule. Semiferous tubule. Here. That is the name. Semiferous tubule. Okay. Semiferous tubule. Okay. Good. So, so from the semiferous tubule, you come to these straight ones. You see, there are straight ones here. From the tubule, a straight one. We call it straight tubule. Straight tubule. From semiferous to straight tubule, then and this is called retitestis. 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 Okay. And then we go to the ductus. Okay, let's see. Everything is here. Here. Okay, so semiferous tubule, straight tubule, retitestis, efferent ductus, and epididymis. Okay, efferent ductus and epididymis. Okay, so retitestis, efferent ductus, and then this is called epididymis. So the pathway from the sperm, the sperms are produced inside the semiferous tubule here, the coiled one. So formally, we say sperms are produced in the testis. That is KG. Okay, leave that for the diploma people to say that. Go further. Sperms are produced in the semiferous tubule. Okay, so this is what we say we call semiferous tubule. From the tubule, they move to the straight tubule, retitestis, and then efferent ductus, and then they move and save themselves in the epididymis. I'm taking that again. Semiferous tubule, straight, tubule, retitestis, efferent ductal, and epididymis. Okay. Semiferous tubule, straight. It's even the PowerPoint. I've already loaded the PowerPoint. So check the PowerPoint, okay? And get in there. Now, if I take a cross section of the semiferous tubule, I want to know which cells are inside the tubule that produce the sperm cell. The semiferous tubule. Which cells are inside there? Oh. Now this is a cross section of the semiferous tubule here. So if you go inside the semiferous tubule, this is what is there. Hey, don't cast people. Focus. Now, inside the semiferous tubule, this is a cross section. On your screen, let me explain that quickly. Inside the semiferous tubule, there are two cells. Write it down. Inside the semiferous tubule, there are two cells. The cell here, the violet or what is it? Violet? This one. What color is this?
Baby pink.
Pink. Mauve. Purple,
okay.
sir.
Okay,
Mauve.
fine. Purple, mauve, whatever. Those cells are inside the semiferous tubule. We call them Sertolic cells. Sertolic cells. Okay. Mommy. Those purple, mauve, whatever cells, these ones, they are inside the tubule, semiferous tubule. We call them Sertolic cells. And then the blue ones that are interspaced by the Sertolic cells, they are called the spermatogonia cells. Gonia. When I say gonia, gonia means either follicle or sperm cell in a biological stage. Okay. So spermatogonia means the baby cell for sperm. Now look at, let me explain this arrangement to you carefully. Let me explain this arrangement to you. Now the Sertolic cells, they are strong cells. Oh, come on.
Let's remove them from the group.
Doctors, I don't mean your one.
It's Olivia. Olivia,
checking your mic. Sisters, please be checking your mic.
Just remove her from the class. What is the meaning of that?
Sister Rahel Omane, please mute your mic.
Okay. Let me go on. Now, the Sertolic cell, if you look at the picture carefully, it stretches its digits to join another Sertolic cell, hence forming compartments for the gonial cells, such that the very young gonial cells or spermatogonial cells are most to the skin, very close to the membrane or the wall of the spermatic cell of the semiferous tubule. Those that are a bit grown are in the middle, and those that are ready to move out are in the lumen of the semiferous tubule. I'm taking that again. The Sertolic cells, they form digits. They stretch their digits to form barriers, hence enclosing the very young cells closer to the wall of the semiferous tubule and allowing those who are almost mature to be at the lumen of the semiferous tubule so that they can flow away or they can swim away. Okay, so the primary cell that produces sperm cells is called spermatogonia cell. But inside the semiferous tubule, it's not only spermatogonia cell, there's another cell that is called Sertolic cell. Sertolic cell protects, feeds, covers, and forms compartments for the spermatogonia cells. I'm taking that again. Sertolic cells, they protect, they feed, they form compartments, and they clothe, forming clothing, protection for the spermatogonial cells. Okay, so in terms of protection, they form this digit and then these alignment to the membrane, forming something we call blood testis barrier, BTB. BTB, blood testis barrier. This BTB is very important for a male. One, the TB, blood testis barrier, make sure that the haploid spermatogonial cells are not destroyed by the immune system of the person. This is how it is. Every cell in our body is diploid or diploid. The only cells that are haploid are the sperm cells. For females, the only cells that are haploid in the body are follicles. Okay? So if your sperm cells, this production unit we are seeing on our screen, if your immune system gets access to it, it will destroy it because it will see it as foreign, because everything is diplo. They are the only haploid, so you see it like a microorganism. It will destroy it. To prevent it, the Sertoli cells form a barrier that doesn't allow even blood or any immune defense mechanism to come closer to the sperm that are producing. The BTB are very important. That barrier makes sure that the haploid spermatogonial cells are protected from the immune of the same person. So, application. If a man is kicked in the testis, that barrier can be broken. I'm repeating it again. If a man has ever been kicked in the testis, that barrier may be broken. So let's say that boy is 12 years playing football and he was kicked in the testis. These testes became big. The mother gave paracetamol and some antibiotic here and there, and then it went away. But if the barrier has been broken, the boy's own immune system would destroy all the spermatogonial cells of the boy. So this boy will grow to be a man and has no sperm cells, a spermatozoa. Cause number 2. Cause number 2 of a spermatozoa is when the barrier, the blood testis barrier, is broken. Your own immune system will destroy it. So Sertoli cells have a particular function inside the seminiferous tubule. If they play with their work, everything will go scot-free. So if you look at the blue ones, primary spermatozoa, they are there, secondary and the spermatid. So the spermatid will be the prepared one to move outside the seminiferous tubule into the straits, into the rectus, into the efferent duct, and go and save themselves into the epididymis. In the epididymis, they go there for maturation. We're going to talk about it later. So the spermatid, they move away from the seminiferous tubule to the straight ductal, to the rectus tetis, then the efferent ductal, and then the epididymis, where they go and mature. Function of the Sertoli cells are very important. Okay, so let's see if I have all the function of the Sertoli cell in the PowerPoint. Let me go back. Okay, here they are. Okay. They establish blood testis barrier here. Okay. During fetal development, they synthesize and release anti-Murine hormone. This hormone is very important. That is what a man is. So if you want to check if a man is a man, the quality of the sperm cell of a man, we check the man's AMH, anti-Murine hormone. I said, which hormone do we use to check the quality of the sperm cells?
Anti-Murine
hormone. Okay, so this one, I'm not here to teach you Babarie. You pass that level. Now I'm teaching you application. If you want to check infertility in males, you start from what they were. You start from their infancy history. It's very important. If somebody has been kicked before, he won't remember. But if you send him to that level, he will remember that, oh, when I was in secondary school, I was kicked. So that we have the appropriate scan to do, appropriate technique to use to know that the sperm cells are still intact or the spermatogonial cells are still intact. One of them is the antimurian hormone, to see the quality of that man's sperm cells. Okay, as we progress, I'm going to talk about all the hormones one by one and how do we test them. Okay, so that when it comes to semen analysis, when I give you a semen analysis, you can go on and on and on. Your midwifery has transformed. That's what BS is about, application. Okay, so that when you sit and you are talking, you talk because you have fact, you know what to do. And remember, it's not about push alone, please. We go beyond that level. If it's push, you don't need degree. Diploma is enough. Okay, so let's get the fact one by one. Okay, then the transfer is there, but let's go here. I've gone far. Oh, okay. And then they support, they protect, and they feed the spermatogonial cells. They also form, you see, because they don't allow the immune system to come within the seminiferous tubule, the Sertoli cell behave like white blood cells. They behave like white blood cells. Phagocyte everything, discard. If you are not there, if you are not well produced, they will destroy you. So the Sertoli cells still behave as white blood cells. Okay. And then they secrete fructose-rich fluid into the lumen that will feed the developing spermatozoa. So they still feed them. Okay. Now look at the last point. Very interesting. They are under the influence of FSH. What is FSH? What is FSH?
Stimulating hormone.
I remember at times when I check some males' FSH, I asked some males to go and do FSH. And then some lab people will call me back. He's a male and you ask him to do FSH. I'll just smile and then say, yes, do it for me. Okay. FSH is not only for females, for God's sake. The hormone has been tagged female, but the male also use it. Because the Sertoli cell that we are talking about, under the influence of FSH, that is why you can do all what we are talking about. So if a man has low FSH, forget about it. Sertoli cell does not function well. I said if a man has a low FSH, sperm production will be affected indirectly because it will affect Sertoli cells. And when Sertoli cells are not well, all what we are talking about won't happen. So it's not a direct effect on the sperm cell, but indirect and strong effect on the sperm cell.
So please, can you take it again?
I'm saying that the Sertoli cell work very well under the influence of FSH. Okay, so if a man has low level of FSH, the Sertoli cell cannot function, cannot support, cannot protect, cannot feed to the maximum satisfaction of it. So whenever a male's FSH goes down, it indirectly affects the sperm production. But directly, it affects the Sertoli cell. Okay? But indirectly, it affects the sperm production. Because if a Sertoli cell cannot protect you, cannot feed you, the sperm that it produces will be inferior quality. Is that clear? They go on and go on and go on. They do so many things. So it's in the PowerPoint. Have time and read. Sertoli cells, what they do. Okay? Remember, they are inside the seminiferous tubule with the spermatogonial cells. The spermatogonial cells have one function, to undergo meiosis, to form haploid spermatid that will swim away to the to form mature sperm cells in the epididymis. But they need to be protected because they undergo meiosis to form haploid. They need to be fed because there's no immune system that can come there. Your blood cannot come inside there, the seminiferous tubule. Hence, the Sertoli cell should function as white blood cell to protect it, apart from the barrier issue. So when small boys complain of being kicked in their testes, ladies or mothers, take it serious. Don't play with it. Examine to see that if there is no inflammation anywhere. If there is, rush him to the hospital. Because if it's one sperm cell, fine. But if it's bilateral, there's trouble in future. Okay. So those of you who are fan of kicking men, anything small, you kick him or you hold his testes. When I say you are wet, you don't understand. Anything at all, you go there. It's criminal to the highest degree. If you hold a man there, well, you don't just cause pain, you cause a lot of damage. Okay. So this is how the sperm cells, spermiosis, and I think as for that, you go through bicep. There's another cell that is outside this. Okay. Sertoli cell is here. There's another cell that this cell. Okay, that's the last cell I'll talk about.
Sir, please, I have a question.
Yes, go on. Go on.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
please, I want to ask whether is it advisable to be playing with the testes during foreplay, maybe holding it with the hand or maybe using your mat on it?
Ma'am, I'm happy you brought this one. I'm happy. I even forgot. I'm happy you brought it. Foreplay, as for men, anywhere you touch us, we like it. Okay? But those of you who want to squeeze it, I don't know what you want. Okay. Be gentle with it. It is a factory in production. Be gentle with it. Understand that even temperature affects it. If you change temperature of it drastically, things happens. Okay, be gentle with it. Those of you who hold it as if they are holding stones, please be gentle with it. Okay.
So what about licking it?
What?
When you lick it.
Oh, when you lick it, fine, but please. Hey, say, you need to be careful not to bite. Yes, that is okay. That is okay. Say you are romantic. But please remember it that when you don't put it in your mouth before you know you are biting it, please. Don't do that. Because it is something. It's a no-go area. You see, that's why I started with the testes. It's a factory for men. Because every day sperm production is ongoing. Okay? The sperm production ongoing. When we read the epididymis and that, next week, I'll talk about so many things that men goes through. So many. Because when it's produced, the way it's transported, the way it goes there and this, men are really suffering. But some things we don't talk about it. August, Emifa, you know, what do you know? Why? Emifa, you know. Okay, so you can play with it, but be romantic about it, ladies. Be romantic. It's good that you brought that question. I almost forgot. Okay, don't go and hit water. Don't go and hit water. 100 degrees Celsius and go and put it there.
What?
Don't go and kill people, please.
Please, I want to see your face.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to meet. We're going to meet. We're going to meet. We're going to meet. So please be gentle with it. It's a production area. Every day production is ongoing. Every day production is ongoing. Okay. So please. Hey, Emifa. Tom and what? Ice cube. Emifa. Tom and ice cube. What do you want to do with that? Tom and ice cube. Emifa. What the other? What do you come back? Right. Okay. So be gentle with it, but remember that it is the production house.
Sir, too late.
What the other?
Or the like
Tom and ice cube. Tom is like it has some peppermint in it, and the ice cube is cold. Hey, walai. Hey,
try it.
I don't just remember you can say
so we call it treasure hunting.
Treasure hunting.
So as a midwife say nyadi and we share
try it. They don't tell me.
Oh, but this one there, some people can treasure hunt, but they can't handle it. We'll leave it over for Mama Menka. Okay. You can go for hunting, but would you kill? That's the question. Hunting, everybody can go, but would they kill something? So that's the point here. You can go for hunting, go and hunt, but will you kill something? No. I'm looking at the way you kill something and bring something home. Okay, good. So please, I'll end here. Next time, we're going to talk about. Please let me finish this so that I know that I'm done with the cells of the testes. The testis cells. Oh, please let me finish this so that I will give you time to ask the question. Okay. The other cell is the Leydig cell. It's on your screen. The Leydig cell is not inside the seminiferous tubule, but it's outside it, interstitial space. You see, the seminiferous tubule is convoluted. Okay, it's convoluted. So the convolution, inside the convolution, the coiled one, we have another cell that we call Leydig cell or interstitial cell of Leydig. Okay, that is the cell that produces under the influence of LH. Now listen carefully. That cell under the influence of LH produce the male hormone. Under the influence of LH, that cell, Leydig cell, produce the male hormone. Under the influence of FSH, Sertoli cell function to the highest capacity. Under the influence of LH, Leydig cell produce male hormone. So you see that checking a man's LH, checking a man's FSH is very important. But usually they just check the hormone. But if you don't know the source of the river and you go and look at the other end of the river, what are you doing? Before checking for the male hormone testosterone, check FSH, check LH, and know what you are looking for. If your focus is on the male hormone, then please you check LH. If it's on the sperm cell, you check FSH first also. Okay, so Leydig cell produce the male hormone, okay, and then it does that under the influence of LH. Okay, so the seminiferous tubule, in conclusion, has 3 cells. 1 outside, 2 inside. The one outside is called the Leydig cell or interstitial cell of Leydig. That is the one that produces the male hormone, but it does that under the influence of LH. Inside the seminiferous tubule, there are 2 cells. Sertolic cell, that is the master cell, the protector, the cook, and the everything for the spermatogonial cell. But that one functions perfectly under the influence of FSH. And then lastly, the spermatogonial cell is the master cell that needs to undergo meiosis to form hyplosperm cell spermatid that will be at the lumen of the seminiferous tubule, move through the ducts and save itself into the epididymis. So, testis is a production house of hormone and then sperm cell. Important. Handle it with care, ladies. And then when you are doing physical examination for a baby boy, please check and see that the testis is there. If it's not there, in our next session, that's where we're going to start from. If it's not there, what do you do? So in our next meeting, I'm going to show you cases of men related to the testis and everything, and then let's see how you're going to solve it. Okay? So I'll start with cases. I'll load the cases maybe a day before we meet. Let's say on Saturday or Sunday if I have time. If I don't have time, we do look at the cases at the lecture. Let's go to analyze the cases vis-a-vis what you've learned today. And then we continue our journey of males, and then we understand the whole concept of who a man is. Okay? Next week will be more interesting. I'm going to teach you who men really are, and then what you can do to handle them. We never said that behind a woman there's a man, but we say behind a man there's a woman. So you need to know this word, and please don't keep it to yourself. Educate people, not only at your workplace, at churches, anywhere you go. Men need to know this. Ladies need to know this exactly. Okay, especially what to wear and what happens, what causes spermatozoa. Apart from genetic or toxic malfunction, these are the other two things that cause. Some men can be exposed to some chemical, and then that is it. Can reduce their sperm count and cause aspermatozoa. Those who work with mercury and everything can have those effects. Okay, but apart from that, kicked temperature are one cause of aspermatozoa. Is there any question?
Yes, sir. Sir, this is Joseph.
Yes, I'll allow some few questions.
Sir.
Okay.
This is Joseph.
Yes, go on, my dear.
Widows who normally bath the babies, and then we apply warm water at their penis.
Warm water where?
At their penis.
The
urethra reactive.
Yes, if the hot water or warm water is at the penis, there's no problem. But I know some of them will drip to the testes. That is where the problem is, not the penis. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, some
so please, now that you know that, know how you're going to handle it. Because some of these methods were done from infancy. Even your husband, mother will come and say that husband that you are enjoying, that's the way I took care of him when he was a baby. So you can't tell me how to take care of this. There are so many scenarios that we've seen. So please, we say we shall know the truth, and the truth shall set us free. Let today, the truth you've met today, set you free. Okay? Any other question?
All right, thank you, sir.
Faustina, Kwanzaa.
Yes, sir.
Yes, any question?
Sir, please, there was 2 years ago, there was a guy at my village who had a bicycle accident, and his 2 testes fell down. They took it to the hospital and they washed it and replaced it and switched it. So I want to find out if it can affect his productivity.
Okay, so the question is it the scrotal sac that get tear? If the sac that get tear, the testis was intact.
Yeah, the testis was intact. It fell down, and then they took it and sent it to the hospital. But I don't know if it is it was that time it was still potent.
For this one, unless you go and try it. This one, if you don't try, I can't answer.
I should have tried with the guy.
Oh, I'm saying that unless, has he given birth by now?
Oh, no. By now, he will be around 18 years.
By now, he'll be around what?
18 years.
18 years.
Yes.
So let's hope. Let's hope he's not wearing. The only advice you can give him is that you should wear things that will keep temperature increase there. Okay? Because that damage, if that's okay, that's okay already. The only thing you can do is to protect him for the heat issue for now. Okay? Because I don't know the severity of the tear and everything. So I can't talk much about it. But the personal advice I can give is that his underwear and this is what he has to do. And then this bicycle thing is causing a lot of trouble. It should look better to walk. Okay. Okay.
Hello, sir.
I'll take 2 more. Yes. Who is that?
Please. Why is the scrotal sac one bigger than the other?
Yes.
And the way it says, does it correspond with the testis inside per the sizes?
Oh yes, the testis itself, one is bigger than the other actually. Okay, it depends on the falling. You see, the testes were once upon a time located where your kidney are. They were retroperitoneal organ, and they dive themselves through the posterior abdominal wall, through the pelvis, and into the inguinal canal to the scrotal sac. So the way they pass through, yes, in terms of size, even the kidneys, so because they were bothered by the kidney, they behave just like the kidney. One is bigger than the other. One is longer than the other. So yes, the scrotal sac display them. They are not in same line. One is taller or longer than the other.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. I thought you've done the gross in ops. When you're doing ops, why you didn't do males? You did only females. You didn't talk about males?
Yes, we did.
Sir, we did, but not into details, I guess.
Aye. So,
sir, please, can we get a recording?
The recording, when we stop recording, it goes, I've linked they send it to your virtual class. Last week one, did they come?
Please, that one I didn't get it.
Yeah. Please, you can't open it. When you try, it can't open.
Because
now we want it at the Telegram.
Then the course rep, please, the course rep, tell the ICT guy, you see, tell him, you work on it. Now, is the school that hosts all the Telegram, all the thing that we have, all the lectures? It's not hosted by me now. It's hosted by the school. So any recording goes to the school page, straightforward, and they will post it to your virtual class. So please, course rep, draw the gentleman's attention. You see, if he's a good guy, draw his attention. Please. He will work on it for you so that you get it. Okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. Go and put it there. Reference.
Those that get wet dreams, what happens?
Oh,
what
please,
actually happened?
That is next week. I won't answer that. That is next week. Okay. That is next week. I've said next week we're going to talk about things.
Pain.
Okay, bye.
Next week they're better.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, go on. Please, let's finish the question before you end the recording. Let's finish the questions. Yes, any other question? Hey, one person at a time, please. Let me mention the names. Dorcas. Pass your hand is up, Dorcas.
Yes, sir. Please, personal. Like my son. When he was born, small, and up to now, it's still small. So I don't know. He's 7 years
please, Dorcas, wait. Can you
unmute your mic?
Can you unmute them, please? Joanne, unmute them for me, please. Joanne. Oh. This hosting, that's the problem we have when we hosting. You can't control.
Please mute your mic.
Sir, please, can I talk?
Yes, talk.
I said my son, when I gave birth to him, the penis was very small. And up to now, he's 7 years. It's still small. So sometimes I'm worried. Like when he was born, it's like we have so many muscles at the perineal area. So I want to.
Joanna, can you
please, I can't remove them again. I don't know.
Joanna, can you make me a co-host?
Please, the noise is too much. So
please, I can't remove them and I can't mute them again. Oh.
Joanna, please make me a co-host, okay?
I can't lay a box to say, no, you can't box to say.
If you are done with the lecture, you can leave.
Mute your mic.
Yeah, I don't know what is happening. I can't remove them and I can't mute them again.
Because of the time is up. So please, those who want to leave, leave. Those who want to leave, leave, please. Those who want to leave, please leave. Don't disturb it. Leave. You see, that is the problem we have when the school hosts the whole thing. You can't control anything, especially when the time is up. The system shut down there. So the controlling system is destroyed. You can't control anything. Okay? And these are some of the problems. You can't have because most of the lectures are teaching from the PowerPoint. So they close quickly. Those of us who want to teach the real practical aspect, we are in trouble. You can't control anything. So those of you who don't want to hear anything, please, you can leave. We close lectures. And those who want to ask questions, please stay. Let me give you just 3 or 4 questions and I close. I have another lecture. Okay. So the lady was talking about the kid's penis, that it was small. He's just 7 years. Okay. He's just 7 years. Let's give him time. Okay, he's 7 years. I hope apart from that, he can urinate and do everything, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's just 7 years. So let's give him some time. Usually, penis will develop and all this at puberty. 12, 11, there, that's where it starts developing. Okay, so let's have something. Good. Last 2 questions, and let's go. Cynthia, your hand is up.
Yes, sir. So please, my question is, what will happen to a man who has given birth for about 5, and now he's having hypospermia?
After giving birth 5, and now he's having
hypospermia.
Okay. So you see, with man, you can give birth today and tomorrow have problem with your sperm cell, depending on environmental factors that you expose yourself in. If it's that's why I said if it's something to do with heat, something to do with chemicals, and then one thing men take it for granted is nutrition. What you feed on. Look at Sertoli cell and Leydig cell. They behave. They are influenced by these hormones. So diet is important for men. Diet. If your husband does not eat well, and you think he eats more, and you are happy, and he can't satisfy you, and your libido is gone, you see the problem you're causing for yourself. Feed them. Okay? Men don't have time for everything. Feed us. Simple as that. Okay? So, lady, if there's a problem like that, feed the person. Look at his itinerary. Maybe now the diet has changed. He doesn't eat well. Then let's look at his environment, where he is. Is he exposed to some chemicals and everything? Let's look at it from that angle. Okay? And then look at the heat factor. Now men are suffering. Okay? So let's look at it from that angle. Okay? And the good news is that now whatever happens to men, we can solve it. Whatever happens to men, whatever, we can solve it. Okay? So if it's low, we can ask for that. It's a small job. Okay? We can solve it.
Thank you.
But feed him.
So it's not me, it's not my husband, it's somebody.
Oh, please, so it's advice. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Last question. Constantia.
Sir. Please, last week, a 16-year boy was brought for circumcision. And during examination, I realized there was no testis. And I wanted to know if there's something that can be done about it.
Okay. What can be done is to wait. If you are too anxious, you take a scan to see where it's locked. It can be locked in the posterior abdominal wall. It can be locked in the pelvis. It can be locked in the inguinal canal. These are the 3 possible areas. If it's not there in any of these areas, it means that it wasn't locked, period. It's possible that testes don't even form at all. It becomes a vestigial organ in the body attached to the kidney. So if you're anxious, you can check and see where it's locked. But whatever place it is, at times when you allow it to descend, okay, when you allow it to descend, so check and let's see where it's locked. You ask for abdominal pelvis scan and let's see where it's locked. Okay.
And also, when you were teaching, you said in the sac, it's not only the scrotum and the testis, but the epididymis, or?
Yes.
And I wanted to know, during the feeling, physically, can you feel all the 3?
Oh, yes. That's what I'm saying. We're in practice. Lie the man down easily. Hold the testis, the sac, and then hold the testis. Go posterior.
This thing is not possible. You only be inviting trouble for yourself.
What is trouble? Is sex trouble? Is it trouble? Say, I told you your libido is gone. You see sex as trouble. I told you your libido is gone. You see sex as trouble. No libido, woman. Eh?
Okay.
Hey, midwives. Sex is trouble. Libido is gone. When libido is gone, sex is trouble.
So seriously, look, by the time you will even feel what you are doing, you will have this. Seriously speaking.
And then give it to him, he will relax. How much can he take? Then you have time to do the examination. How do you see sex as a problem crowd this time around? Eh?
Okay.
So maybe it's too much. So maybe it's too much.
It's too much, and then you have to exercise to be ready to receive it. You don't do squatting. You don't do anything. We have some position. If you put a man, he can't even do anything. These are things next week we'll be looking at it. Those who like sex, you put them in that position, they can't do anything. They will stop. Teach us
now. Teach us now.
Not now. Not now. As we progress, please.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Last question.
Please.
Oh, sir, last but one.
I have a client. Please, sir, I want to ask a question.
Yes, go on.
One of my clients that she ever had ectopic pregnancy.
Okay.
Then they did the surgery at the right side, and she had 3 females. So she said she did her inquiries and realized that they said she couldn't give birth to the dog.
In fact, I couldn't hear the last part. She said she did surgery.
The last part is she gave birth to 3 females, and when she did her research, that they said she can give birth to a male. Is it true, sir?
Giving birth to a male, giving birth to a female has nothing to do with the woman. It has to do with the man. It is women who have male and female sperm cells. As for women, you have only that.
Research that they said the right ovarian also produce male sperm cells.
My dear, it's not. I'm a scientist. Forget about it. It's not true. Because people even came to me with their calendar. They say Chinese calendar or Japanese calendar. Please, let's behave as scientists. Okay?
Yes,
it's probably
true. It's not true. It's not true.
Sir.
Yeah, last question.
Please, can the testes detach and they can reapply, re-stitch back?
Can be catch like what?
Like an accident. Like the lady was saying that the guy had an accident and the testes fell and they took it to the hospital, washed it, and they switch it back.
Yes.
Can it happen that way?
Yes, the testes is hanged, or they are hanged in the sac. They are not they are hanged and attached to the lateral side of the sac. So the sac can tear and it can come out. Yes, we can put it in.
No, I mean it can fall down and then you can take it.
Yes, when it's cut at the posterior part of the sac. Yes.
Okay.
There's a thought to it.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir. Please, mine is about the book. Please, so can you reduce the price small for us?
Oh, mommy. On this platform.
No. Yes, please. Oh, try.
This question
please reduce
your cost rate, please. Not here.
Oh no, they said we should see you. That should please reduce for us. We are begging.
Except not here. It is recorded.
Hey. If you want to see me, this is a recording. For God's sake. If you go to the WhatsApp platform or to the Telegram, I'm there. You can see me there.
Okay. Yo, thank you very much.
They've destroyed this recording today with that question. Okay, I think there's no more questions. So let's end the class. Please read on. The PowerPoint is already on your page. It was posted this morning. Go to the PowerPoint so that next week we can go fast and finish it. Okay, there's a female one that we have to go on. We are finished with the male and female, then we start the embryology, commercialization. By that time, you've got the idea. The right idea I want you to put your brain, the hormones you are supposed to know before we start embryology. Okay, so that's why we are revising the reproductive system, and putting the vis-a-vis practice so that it can help you here, but it can also help you more in embryology. Okay, good. So please keep safe, and then we meet again next time.
Thank you, sir.
Jennifer and this. There were 2 ladies I asked them to see me last week. The one at is it Ejura? The one at Ejura and the one at Kase. Are they here or they are gone?
I have a question, please.
Please, I'm here.
Deborah,
Yes, sir.
Please,
Abigail,
is it?
Please test me again so that I get your number.
All
You
right,
are
sir.
Tajira, okay?
Yes, please. Yes.
And Jennifer was at Castle. Jennifer, you here? Jenny?
Yes, sir.
Please test me again, okay, Jenny?
Okay, sir.
Test me again today.
Sir,
so
please,
that...
I have a question.
Yay, who is that? Okay, go on. Last person.
Sir, please, is it advisable for a man to bath warm water?
For all what we said, it's not, you say hot or warm?
Warm.
Warm.
Yes.
So warm means it's not more than the body temperature. Is it?
No.
If it's not warm, warm means it's not more than the body temperature. So that is it. You can bath. But if it's hot, it's more than the body temperature. That's not good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So warm is good. Okay, warm is no more than the body temperature, less than the body temperature.
Sir, please allow me to ask this last question. I beg.
Hey, answer. Go on. Go on.
You people can understand.
There is damage to the testes, and then the Sertoli cells gets ruptured. Can it redevelop?
The Sertolic cells, if they are affected, there's no problem because they don't produce the sperms. It is the gonial cells, spermogonial cells that produce the sperms. Okay. The only problem is that one thing that maybe I did not mention is that testes, one can function while one is destroyed. One pet can do all the job. Okay. Because one alone has so many sperm cells that it produces, just one. So one can do all the job. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Good. Good. So I'm stopping the recording.